Colin. I'm going to try and keep to time this morning, and what I'm going to talk to you about, I've entitled it "Sport is for All," and that is in a way a catch-all for many different things that I hope to be able to put together in 20 minutes. But the main purpose of my paper is to be passionate about sport and to emphasise the role that sport can play in the lives of all people, women and men, persons with a perceived disability, and in particular, as has already been said this morning, all young people of the world. In my opinion, the spirit of sport is what matters, not the marketable monetary value of a small fraction of sport's total number of participants. I shall emphasise the benefits that practising sport can bring to those persons who are perceived to possess a disability. These individuals may only have sport, nothing else actually, as a means to gain confidence and to believe in the fact that they can map out their own futures and, of course, influence their own destinies. I shall also endeavour to show the incredible educational value of regularly practising sport, particularly for young people, and the manner in which practising sport equips young people for communicating with their fellow human beings and provides the life skills so necessary in the 21st century. After having hopefully confirmed sport's incredible educational potential and its true raison d'etre, I shall then discuss perceptions that are about in the world that weaken the true nature of sport as I will have defined it. I should conclude by restating the importance that the world must give to sport for all, as this is the fundamental building block of all sport on this planet. So the Paralympic Games, there you see a slide of the opening ceremony in the Bird's Nest. How long ago was it now? It seems like 2 or 3 months ago, but it was only a few weeks ago. Those games in Beijing, they were amazing. The greatest Paralympic Games ever. That's what I said at the closing ceremony, and that was the fact. There were great athletic performances watched by packed crowds in wonderful stadia. China, and particularly China through BOCOG, most certainly delivered on the statement that was made by their president, Hu Jintao, in 2006, that the Paralympic Games will be of equal splendour to the Olympic Games, but would also retain their own distinguishing features. The Paralympic Games have an effect on changing the world by reaching a global audience. There you just see some of the audience from Beijing. And they promote awareness and appreciation and expose the word disability as purely an observer's perception. Exciting performances by elite athletes transform prejudice into images of ability, energy and strength. Paralympic sport development within the Paralympic movement is an imperative in order to sustain our vision, which is quite simply to enable Paralympic athletes to achieve sporting excellence and inspire and excite the world. Maybe the key word in the vision is that second word, enable, which doesn't mean things are done for Paralympic athletes, except that the stage is set for them to perform as they desire to any level of sporting excellence. You don't have to be a Paralympian at the Paralympic Games to be a Paralympic athlete. And by their attitude and their performances, they will firstly surprise, then inspire and excite, and finally change the world. Sport can change the world, and as has been said by representatives from WHO, that's what sport needs to do. So let me go into a little bit more detail. Paralympic sport teaches a person to realise that he or she can be good at something. We were talking, that was being mentioned earlier on. It helps raise self-esteem. Matthew, who's a wheelchair basketball player from Kenya, says, "We're put aside. People think your disability is all the way up to your brain. What we need is an opportunity to prove that we can do something." Paralympic sport teaches a person to practice self-determination, realize you can map out your own future. Linda Mastandrea, a track athlete from the US, says participating in sports not only benefited me in terms of my physical health, but it helped me develop life skills that enabled me to embark on the path of a successful attorney, author and public speaker. Paralympic sport allows people to have enjoyment, to feel excited, lets them to get to know. You may have difficulty with that, but you know you can be proud of any body. It doesn't matter what your body is, whether it's lost 2 legs or you can't see all that well. But you have to learn when people may look at you strangely and give you an opinion that you're not the same as themselves, that you have to gain that confidence and start to admire your body and of course your mind. And Paralympic sport teaches a person to become healthy and feel good. And we've been talking about that need again just before. My final comment on what Paralympic sport can do, and then I'll come to sport in general. It teaches a person, it can do, to be part or even lead a team. Chris Scott, he was a Paralympic gold medalist in Athens. He said that by becoming part of the Paralympics, a cyclist, my self-confidence and self-esteem have greatly increased. But to be named male team captain in Athens was the pinnacle of my career. To be selected for a position of leadership means even more than my sporting achievements. So the Paralympic movement is about empowering individuals rather than managing a collectivised and thus marginalised minority. We promote the rights of the individual to do his or her own thing to their fullest potential. These individuals can make a productive contribution to their local communities and to national economies if only society will allow them. These citizens are role models of empowerment and catalysts of change in society. Excuse me. My lips are just starting to stick together, by the way. The key to their success, though, is partnership with the prime movers and deciders in society, whom the IPC calls upon to provide mechanisms and opportunities to first teach skills through sport, and second, to channel spin-off skills into supporting a livelihood and a decent quality of life. This is development through sport, and its success lies in partnership. Now, as well as the benefits felt specifically by Paralympic athletes, sport teaches constructive life skills to everyone. When Kofi Annan said that sport is a tool for peace, what did he mean? Well, I think he saw very clearly that sport, like play, can be the antithesis of war. Sport has the potential to teach every participant the basics of peaceful coexistence, to play within the rules, which we all know about, but it's very important to play within the rules, to harness aggression and frustration, to practice fair play and honesty, to create lifelong friendships, and I've made enough of those, there's too many to recount, to have fun. Having fun is a key thing for kids, and it's something that when I speak to young children, you know, when they maybe try a Paralympic sport for the first time. I remember I was at the LTA in London, Lord Tennis Association, and one young kid, he tried wheelchair tennis, and he really liked that. He said, oh, I'm having fun there. He said, the rowing machine, though, that's another story. That was a little bit too tough, Colin, you know. But it is about having fun. And don't always think that the sport that the child seems to be naturally best at is the one that they have most fun at. Before I was in a chair, I was no good at football. But it was the sport I loved the most. And I was quite talented at other sports that involved hand-eye coordination. But I couldn't get my feet to kick the ball. I think I only scored 1 goal, even not for my school. And even that was a load of luck. I went through a load of legs. So just remember that when you're trying to find a sport that will inspire kids to play sport, it's not always the one that they're naturally the best at. This thing about communication. I was in between meetings in Beijing at the end of 2005. And